Hi, thanks for watching. The reason I've not been posting anything lately is because Ellen's been a bit under the weather and I've been preoccupied. Now she's getting better, right? So yesterday, the weather's been lousy, but there's a bit of a blue sky and I saw this trail and I grabbed my camera. So it's only a couple of minutes long, so I've changed the speed to give you a better look at it. And as you can see at the front of this trail, there's nothing there. It's like a shadow. And we'll have a closer look at that later. Right? That's no a jet. Right? And I'll prove it. Right. So the other thing. Right. Now, about the trails in the sky. They don't fall down. That's an optical illusion. We see them getting bigger and we think they're getting closer, when in fact it's the opposite. They're rising up into the sky. Right? So you can see the trail that's going from top to bottom is, well, behind the trail that's going left to right. And here's another jet that is 100% below that trail. And I say jet, well, actually I think it's that orb that's controlling the illusion that there's a jet. Right, so get a closer look at what's at the front of these trails shortly. Right, so here's another video. I posted this a few years ago first time, and it pretty much shows you what I was talking about. And there's a jet there that's, well, it's below the trail that was left maybe an hour before it. Right, so where am I going with this? Right, so what if they're using technology to attach to something that's lighter than air? Now the whole chemtrail thing, that could be a psyop. That's my opinion, right? So the people find stuff in fields, and okay. Well, there was an experiment in a town in northeast England, I think it was in the 60s, and unbeknown to the entire population, there were trucks driving all around the town, putting something out through the exhaust. Right, and you can look it up. Right, so they don't tell us anything, and we're finding that out lately. Right, so I'm suggesting that they, for what reason? I don't know. Maybe they're putting up the undercoat to paint the sky. I have no idea. But it's a possibility. Right? So I'm just putting that out there. So let's take a look at the planes now. And before we look at what was in front of the trails, we'll have a look at this passenger jet and these two military jets that's in the distance. Right, so let's have a look at these and this 3D builder. This is meant for making models and shit, but I found a better use for it. So, right, here's our passenger jet, right, and I'll show you. Right, I'll show you what I'm doing. Right, that's it. That's normal. Right. Right, and we'll use the height map. And we'll see what that shows. And this is a passenger jet up in the sky. right? And you can still clearly see it. It's got, well, looks like an airplane. It's got wings and a tail and stuff, engines, right? And look it through the edge detection, and we see the same thing. The airplane pretty much remains, right? So, rid of that. And look at these two. Right, so, there's a picture. And we'll look at it through the height map first, and you'll see it's the planes, you can still see them, you can still see the shape, you can still see the guns or weapons or whatever the fuck is on them. And then we'll look at it through the edge detection, and again the same thing. I mean, the sky's always a mess, but you can still see airplanes. Right, so let's have a look at what's in front of the trails. Right. So there's the trail, and there's what's in front of it. Okay. So you seen the plane yet? I'm not seeing one. I can see the trail, but I don't see anything in the front. And I can do the same with the edge detection, and as I say, the sky's always mental, but I don't see any airplane at all at the front of that trail. Right, done that. Look at this one. Where the hell are we? Right, that's the best I'm going to get. That don't matter. Right, so again, this is using the height map. There's no height, there's nothing there. And do the same, the edge detection, and it's detecting the trail, but little else. Right, I'll look at something else. What have I got? Try this. Settings. Bin that. Right. Again, you can clearly see the bubble there. Right, so the height map, again it's showing you the trail, but there's nothing at the front of it. And the edge detection, same thing. There's nothing there. OJ. Right. Right. I'm going next. Now look at the technology. This was years ago. The city in the clouds above China. And it went viral. And is this damage control? You know, like making out it's fantasy when it's actual reality. So, I don't know. But they've got the tech to do this experiment, right? So, what could they put in the sky, right? Okay, they know there's a firmament. They try to break through it. Remember Operation Fishbowl? Right, so thankfully they failed. But what I mean is, they know it's there. So they would know what altitude to set these, whatever they put up in the sky. Right. So what I mean. Okay. What material is lighter than air? So normally I just narrate what's on the page, but there's a few words that I will not say out loud. Okay. Why is this aero so light? Aero is extremely porous and low in density, but can be made to be very strong with new technology developed by none other than NASA. The structure of the gel would remain, but it would be extremely light due to low density. This is precisely how the gel are made. What is the lightest aero? Oh, that word. Hey, just like New York, you've got to say it twice. Right. Is the world's lightest material that only weighs 0.16 milligrams per cubic centimetre. It has replaced last year's aero that was created by German scientists and weighed 0.2 milligrams per cubic centimetre. It has great oil absorbing abilities that are very useful in disastrous oil spills. And we'll have a look at the oil absorbing abilities later on in this video. Is nitrogen lighter than oxygen? Oxygen is denser than both air and nitrogen at all temperatures and pressures, but only slightly. Since they don't separate from each other, we generally don't worry which is lighter or heavier. The difference in the density of nitrogen and oxygen as gas comes from the molecular weight, which is small. 4 grams per molecule or something, I don't know. Right, so Chinese scientists develop lighter than air material. Right, so let's mute this and see how they go. Right. No, there's other stuff better than that. Leave that. Right. Right. What is the lightest, strongest metal? Magnesium, new magnesium-based alloy as the world's strongest and lightest metal to change the world. There's a lot of that happening lately. Researchers from Northern Carolina State University have developed a material using magnesium which is light like aluminium but as strong as titanium alloys. This material has the highest strength to weight ratio known to mankind. I don't know about the women. Right. What is the lightest and strongest material on Earth? A team of researchers at MIT has designed one of the strongest lightweight materials known. By compressing and fusing flakes of this material and two-dimensional form of carbon, the new material, a sponge-like configuration with a density of just 5%, can have a strength 10 times that of steel. So let's check this out. That's some metal in top of those seeds. That's kind of lighter than there. Right. What is the lightest solid on Earth? Aero, the lightest solid material on the plane. It looks like frozen smoke and is the lightest solid material on the plane. Is carbon aero lighter than air? Though carbon aero has been around for the past quarter of a century, their properties are still being discovered. Don't we know it? Perhaps more notably, a team of scientists from Zhejiang University have created the lightest and most interesting version so far. Everything's made in China. What is the lightest material there is? Aero, also known as, is believed to be the world's lightest material with a density of just 0.16 milligrams per cubic centimetre. Zhejiang University research developed a material which is approximately 7.5 times less dense than air. Right, so let's check this out. Right. So don't repeat these at home. Right. That's pretty light. I believe that's sitting on top of grass or something. So, like I say, they have the technology, and they certainly have the capability, and if it's nefarious, well, that'd be like everything else. I don't know what the hell that means, but pretty wild. So, what liquid is lighter than air? Liquid, hydro, which would be light as liquid in the, it's in the whole universe, according to the principles I discussed earlier, has a density of 70.85 GL. What is the strongest metal in the world? Tungsten, in terms of tensile strength. Tungsten is the strongest out of these natural metals. 142,000 per square inch. That's pretty strong. Right. So anyway, that's my point. That's why I think they could be doing something up in the sky. Right, what's next? Right, so now we come to the real reason for this video. This is a research group. We've been together for 4 years now, and we've had 3 annual meetups for a long weekend, but they're no, it's not like that. It's more like a family gathering. It really is. And the difference is there's no arguments. I've never heard a voice raised in anger, and we've spent like, I don't know, 12 days and nights in each other's company. So, that means something. So, right. So the reason why I'm showing you this group is because one of the group sent 2 of these to another member of the group, and this member of the group used this to have a look at the contents. And this, I believe, is a sliver of silicone or something, right? So now I'll show you the mind-blowing images. All the images you're about to see were all taken from within one drop. This is a short clip. Some of the things we'll be having a closer look at later on. I don't know the depth or the magnification here at this point. Right. Remember the thing I mentioned earlier about the oil? That thing that dispenses oil perfectly? Well, check out this stuff. Right. So on the left is the edge, or the slither. I mentioned the slither of silicone, that's it. And on the right is the contents of that small glass tube. And this is within this, well, let's call it a liquid. And wait to see what happens when the needle is introduced. And don't that look like oil and water? So let's start with this. This is one of my favourite images. So I'll be corrected in the comments, but I think this is like 100 times magnification or something, right? So what we're looking at, well, I'll give you my opinion, and you can take it for what you will. Right, so these are crystals, and what I think we're looking at here is like a snapshot in time. These crystals actually growing. Like if we could watch it in time lapse, you would actually see it in motion. I'll tell you what I mean, right? They're pyramids, by the way, right? So I believe that this here at some stage was connected to one of these, and maybe they get to that size and they pop out, I don't know. And here's one here that's still growing and it's still attached. It's like an umbilical cord, and as soon as it gets to a certain, I don't know, density, weight, size, bang, it gets released. And I think they would continue. They won't just be there to pop out. No. That'll be like the other stuff that they talk about. Once it starts, it don't stop. And that looks like a cityscape, and streets, and but when you know what it is, it's a wee bit scary to think that they're putting this where it don't belong. Right, so we'll have a better look at some of these. Right, but I think that's what we're watching here. And how many times this is happening in different parts of where it was sent, that's a scary thing. And what are they for? I have no idea. I just know it ain't good. Right, let's look at some. Look at this, right? So let's remind ourselves. This is in a liquid. This, whatever it is, right? And you can see it's got height and depth, and shape, and form. And I believe this is, I don't know whether it's something crawling in or something crawling out, but it looks like it's something crawling in. For whatever this soup is, I have no idea. Well, let's get a better look at it. Right. There you go. Right. So let's get that picture. There you go. And we'll look at it in here. Right. So let's see if we can get a bit closer. Right. So this is, I'll show you what I'm doing here. Right. Right, so this is just a picture as it is. Right, and then we'll use the height map. Now this software, it's for like building models and shit, so I found a better use for it. So this is with the height map, which has it, would you expect, it shows you anything with height. Right, so you can see there is definitely, it's like castle moat. And there's this thing here that's gonna close whatever the hell that is. Right. So it is something. But, well, right, so this is the height map, right. I'll tell you that in a minute and see where that goes. Right, so we agree that's a structure, right? And this is showing you height, like different lights get different heights. So if this is a structure sticking up, then what's through the soup? What's in there? Right, check it out. Edge detection, which is, as you'd imagine, it detects anything with an edge. And there's, well, plenty there. It's like the fucking Himalayas. Right. So, that's what that looks like. Right, let's look at something else. Let's look at the pyramids. Right. Let's check it out with the height map. Let's stick that bit there. And again, it's not just the structures that are sticking up, it's also whatever this fluid soup, whatever this is. Right. Look at it through the edge detection. You see the same thing. These are structures that are separate to whatever this is. And we'll invert it. So again, you can see they've got an edge. Right, without a doubt. Right. This is a better image to show you the actual shape of the pyramids that I'm talking about. Right. So, feel like this angle here, the shadows help you see the shape, and you can see quite clearly the shape of this pyramid, and this one, as you can see, is still forming. So these things are growing. Right. Let's have a look at them. So let's agree these are growing crystals, growing into pyramids for some reason. So let's check them out and let's learn about them. Right, well, right. Right, again you can see that they're clearly separate from what they're sitting in. And what they're sitting in is probably everywhere. And you can use letters to describe it. So I'll go no further. Right, and look at the height map, and And you can see what height there, and what we can do here is invert it, and it's now a big hole. Right, right, where am I going next? Oh, right, now I'll show you. Now remember, this is one drop. Now I'll show you what else was found within that drop. This is mind blowing. Right, again, I'll be corrected in the comments if I get the size wrong, but I think this is like 100 times smaller than a human hair. Something like that. Anyway, it's, well, it's alive. And it's wriggling. And its tail's moving. So it's in motion. Where it's headed, who the fuck knows? But we can have a closer look at it. That's definitely the head. And as you can see, that's whether that's like a slime or a shadow, but it's definitely where the tail used to be. Right. So, that's a closer look at this. Is that engineered? I mean, use your imagination. Right, that's all I've been doing since I looked at these things. And I don't think anything good. You miss this, miss that, what's area? Look at this, this looks like, well, I think it could be engineering. It's like, we just saw earlier the technology they have. So, is it, I don't know, part engineered? I have no idea. Then there's this. I have no idea what that could be, or this. But if you look at the edges of that, it's like layers. It's like a human hair. And it is. It's like as if it's growing. Fuck, ain't it all? I don't know what this is. Right, this is under a different light, I think. And this is the same thing, but this now, like, taking the shape of a pyramid. This is under different light. Right. Again, this is the same again, another. But most of this, these look like hairs or something inside and down here. Definitely look like hairs. Hell, maybe it moves like, no, like a caterpillar or something. Maybe that's like legs. Maybe that's what helps it swim. I've no fucking idea. Right. So what is this here? That's the bit we just looked at. Right, that's under a different light, so you see different stuff. This looks like ripples, which suggests that this, at one time, was here. That's what I say. I don't know. That would mean that was there. So this thing's breaking up. And it broke up and attached itself to this. So, is this like another snapshot? If we watch this in time lapse, would we see this disappear and find its way up this tube? I don't know. And there's this. I mean, why is that in a human body? Why would you put that inside somebody? Like the rest of it, I suppose. Why would you put any of it anywhere? Right. So that was that bit we just looked at. Right. So there's that thing up here. Right. And we just looked at, I suggested that these things could be heading towards these straws, or whatever the hell they are. For, I don't know, for what reason. It's up here. Right. It's all crazy stuff. Right. Then there's this. I mean, holy fuck, what's that? Remember the oil thing? I mean, what the fuck is that? And why would it be created to be put inside somebody? I mean, again, it's got these tubes to the side, and that's definitely that head, and it looks like it's in motion. So, right, that's enough. Right, so, you tell me what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Please comment.